Welcome back, everybody. My name is Logan with Bearded Bourbon, and if you can tell, I'm a little nasally because, go figure, I start day one of Bourbon Advent and then start to get sick. So, that's super fun, but it seems like I can smell and taste pretty well. So, I'm going to keep going, and today is day number 2 with the Bourbon Advent. So I'm going to pull out bottle number 2 and I'm going to pour it in a glass and we're going to get right into it. As always, this is my reminder to cut off my head, but this is my reminder to check out what we're doing at Patreon. Become a patron or become a member. That's free to do, just to kind of see what's all going on over there. As always, like and subscribe and follow me at Bearded Bourbon with the _ over on Instagram. But let's get into the number 2. Yeah, just pour the whole thing in there and let it sit. And I'll take the opportunity just to, like yesterday, I was able to go to the Big Red Bourbon Expo in Indianapolis at the State Fairgrounds, and it was a good time. Lots of friends, a lot of people loved the wholesale Bourbon Finds hoodie. If you are interested and you want your own wholesale Bourbon Finds hoodie, you could always click the link in the description below and go right to the store. So I'm going to start out with the blank canvas here. And oh, okay. All right, so really right from the beginning, a lot of fruity notes. And a lot of like ethanol. Now I will say, just being at the expo and seeing other Indiana Bourbon Club people, I do know this is a high proof whiskey. But other than that, I have no idea what it actually is. But the more I sit with it, it smells high proof. You get a lot of ethanol. But yeah, it's all I'm really getting is fruit and ethanol. But it's pretty pleasant. Maybe a little bit of like nail polish, honestly. And when you know it, this is a high proof thing, it's easy to kind of pick those things out. Would I have gotten that if I really truly didn't know the proof point? I really don't know what the proof point is, so let's get into it. Yeah, that finish. Whoa. That's a finish that just keeps going and going and going. That's I get fruit, maybe some grape. Boy, with this being the first pour of the day and it being that high proof, maybe this is exactly what I needed just to kind of clear out my sinuses. And kind of see if I can get over this head cold a little faster. But I'm gonna sit with this a little longer. And so the 5 different points or things that I'm doing. So proof point, distillery, the type of whiskey, if it's bourbon, rye, whatever, if it's finished or non-finished, and to take a guess at the actual bottle in and of itself. Right from the get-go, I have zero clue what this is, and I knew with day one's heightened performance, I knew this like every other day, but from here on out, it's just going to be a super major disappointment. So I'm sorry in advance. So that finish, I would imagine this is definitely higher. And so I will say this: the proof point, I will give myself the point if I am within 5 proof points. If I'm over 5 proof points, or under, then I will not give myself the point. Not that it really matters, but here we are, just to make it fun. So I don't know. I already know this is with what people were describing it as jet fuel. I coordinate that with something that is definitely 130 plus. Is it the hazmat? I don't know. Have I ever? I don't think I've ever had hazmat. The closest I've had to a 140 is the 13th Colony 10-year single barrel, which I guessed. I knew what it was, but if I had to guess, I would have guessed like 115, 120 proof. It did not drink at its proof at all. But yeah, I get maybe a little bit of like grape. And the more that I keep going back to it, and the less that gets in the cup, it seems for me, the less that's in there, the more flavors that kind of reveal itself as I continue to drink it. And I'm not sure if that's normal for most people, but that's common for me. The less that's in my glass, the more flavors, or I guess maybe the more layers that come out for me. Yeah, that proof. That's high again, and as I'm talking, that finish just go like this, kind of goes down, and that nice warm Kentucky hug that you get. It's still going, and so this is an incredible finish. The flavor up front is very ethanol-y, very alcohol forward. So, I guess with proof point, I'll make a note here. I'm gonna guess like, I don't know. I'm gonna guess like 135. Now with jet fuel, again, if I wouldn't have heard that, so I'm between like 135, like 130. 138. Not sure. As far as like distillery, no clue. So there's just going to be a question mark right there. Because it could be sourced. Like there's just so much heat with this that I can't really narrow it down to like a profile. But I'll go ahead and guess this is a bourbon. And yeah, it kind of seems like it has kind of like a sherry or like a fruity kind of finish. You know what? Like as I'm taking that last sip, I don't know why, but like there's an orchard around here called Tuttle's Orchard, And that last sip reminds me of walking through the orchard and smelling the naturally the apples that fall to the ground, and whether they're fermenting or not, I'm not sure, but it really does remind me of like being at an apple orchard. And so, and the more that I'm going to it, the less that alcohol forward taste comes through. So I'll say this is a bourbon. I'll say this is a finished. What it's finished in, I'm not sure, but I'll just go ahead and guess it's finished. And as far as the bottle, it'll be another question mark. So I know I'm giving up, for sure, 2 points. So at best, I'm getting 3. So we'll see where we land on that. But let me go ahead and finish this. There's some kind of musk there. Whether that's like kind of oak, but it's kind of like a dingy taste, or like a woody taste. Again, like you're in the woods. Again, I get that apple orchard kind of vibe, and so yeah, you know how long it's been since I took that last sip, and I feel that heat just in my chest, and that may just be because this is the first pour of the day, or the only pour of the day. So I'm gonna lock my answer at 138 proof. I have zero clue what the distillery is. I think this is a bourbon. I think this is finished. So I'm going to lock those answers in. As far as bottle, I have no idea what the bottle would be. So again, like a super janky way to do this. But let's see what day number 2's pour is. Okay. Oh, okay. It's my thing is still my Post-it note's still covering it. So I see Old Clifty Apple Brandy. Holy moly, this comes in at 147.9 proof. Holy cow. I would have never guessed 147.9. So I'm 2 for 5 on day number 2, which might seem fitting. I'll go with that. I'll take that. But this is a good bottle. I don't know anything about Old Clifty, the Hoosier Apple Brandy. So that apple orchard note, like 100%. You can totally taste apples. Originally, I thought it was kind of like a grapey taste, but the more you go to it, the more that apple. Again, like Tuttle Orchards, I go there every year to pick some apples, and that's the only reason why I would ever be able to get that note. And so again, day number 2 for 5, and looking forward to day number 3, and we'll see you then.